Hey guys, what's up, it's jjaaxxthelegend here. Today I'm here with another Minecraft redstone tutorial. And in this week's tutorial, I've got something super duper exciting to show you guys. And if you've read the title of this video, it is a 4x4 piston door. This piston door uses a new slime and honey block mechanics as they don't stick together, and it only works in the newest snapshot and on Java. So let's have a look at this magnificent redstone door. If I turn around, you can see we've got our castle and a beautiful large wooden door. Now if I press this button here, you can see we have an opening sequence, and it's really quite satisfying, and we can walk in. Then once we're in here, we can press this button again on the inside to close it, and the closing sequence is even better. Here's the opening sequence, and then the closing sequence. Just like that. And it's all hidden in these walls, so it's reasonably easy to hide. But now I can get all of my stuff, head out, and then go off and do whatever I need to do. So now you're probably wondering, how do I build this, and what does the redstone look behind it? Well, let's hop into my redstone flower world so you can see that. Okay, so I am now in my super awesome redstone flower world, and behind me we have the redstoning for this incredibly awesome 4x4 piston door using the honey and slime blocks. Now it looks very complicated from here, and you might think it is, but it's actually reasonably simple. It's just very compact. So let's just see it in action again. So again, if I press this button, you can see the door closes. If I press it again, it'll open. So let's get started with the tutorial. But before we do that, make sure to grab all of the items that appear on your screen now. Feel free to pause the video to grab those. Okay, so now that you've got all those materials, dig out a hole that is 22 wide, so that's along here, 11 back, like that, and 4 deep. That's 4 blocks into the ground. 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. So pause the video and do that. On one of the long sides, place 2 blocks to show the front of your build. Now come to this middle block here and walk to your left. Then drop into the hole and count 5 blocks in, including the block you're standing on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And on that 5th block, place 2 sticky pistons on top of each other. Now go to the opposite side, so if you did the left, do the right, and if you did the right, do the left. Do the exact same thing, so count 5 blocks in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you have 2 stacks of 2 sticky pistons like this. Now walk back into the hole and place another 2 sticky pistons on top of each other diagonally back from each piston like this. So if you have a ladder or a staircase coming out of the hole, you can now see you've got a shape like this. Or from the actual hole, you'll have something that looks like this. Moving around to the back, go to the side, go to the middle again, and go to either the left or right side, and again, count 5 blocks in and place 2 sticky pistons on that 5th block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and do this again for the opposite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now if you get a ladder out, like I said before, you can see you've sort of got this X piston shape. Remember, all of these pistons have to be sticky pistons, otherwise it won't work. After that, grab out some of your observers and hop into the hole, and come to the left side of your pistons from the front, like this. Then place blocks in these places here. Here, here, and here. And so now you should be able to hop up on top of the pistons. Now grab out your observers, and while on top of the pistons, place the observers so the red dot is facing into the sky. That means when you destroy these blocks and hop down into a hole, you can see the faces are looking at the ground. Now go and do this on the opposite side as well. So again, place blocks here, here, and here. Hop up, place your observers, and then break those blocks. Now it's time to add in some repeaters. Let's add a repeater directly under each of the observers on both sides, and put them all on 4 ticks delay. So you need to click that 3 times. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Okay, so this is what it should look like so far. Okay, for this next part, you're going to need to grab out some sort of immovable block, so this can either be obsidian, a furnace, or some glazed terracotta. Now, it has to be glazed terracotta, it can't just be regular. And a repeater. Start by grabbing out your repeater and going to each side, and on the two outer pistons behind the repeaters here, place another repeater on 1 tick delay, so no clicks. Do this on both sides. Now, using a block, hop on top of these pistons, and on top of each of these red blocks, place an immovable block. Red dots, place an immovable block, like this. So you can use any of these. So you can even mix it up if you want. I'll do that to show you can use any of them. Just like that. So now hop down there and break this block. So you don't have to do this, but to test that you've got your system working, grab out a button and put it behind any of these repeaters here. Any of them. Press the button and you should see a double piston extension, which is just like that. Cool, you can now break that button. Now it's time to start reorganize your inventory. Put in your hotbar your building blocks. I'm using orange concrete because I like to separate my circuits using different types of concrete or wool. Your redstone dust, your 2 oak buttons or any type of button, and your building blocks. Now this has to be a block of redstone can go through, so you can't use glass or lead or other blocks like that. So now, from the middle here, make a 2 block wide bridge out of stone brick until you're in line. No, just before you're in line with these pistons here. You can see that this edge is just before it's in line, it stops there. Now walk 2 blocks back, 2, and then 1 more, and on that 3rd block there, place 2 buttons. So if you walk around to the edge of your build, this is what it should look like. Okay, now you want to drop back into your hole and place 2 orange concrete blocks like this, and break that block there, place another one there, and then 2 redstone dust on top of that. So if you press this button here, from a bit further away, you can see that redstone dust gets activated. Okay, so coming over to the left side of this little thing that we placed here, place another block coming down towards these pistons, then place 1 more. Then going towards the right side, come 1 more block down, and 2 along. Now place redstone on all of those blocks. Then on the other side, come 1 more block down, but only come 1 along like this. Now coming back over to this left side here, come another block down, 1 across, and then 1 under this repeater here. 1 block under this repeater here, which has 1 tick on it. Now do this on the other side, come 1 block down, 2 across with that 1 more block down, then 1 under the repeater. So that's what it should look like. Okay, so coming back to this left side again, follow this repeater under the block and break another block here, like this. Now what you want to do is replace this block here the repeater is on with either glass or a slab. I'm going to be using glass. Either a glass or a slab, then place that repeater back. Now bring this redstone 1 step up like this, and you can see because I've got glass here that redstone can pass through the glass block. Then bring it up so it connects into this repeater. Do this on the opposite side. So remember, replace this with glass, put the repeater on there, come 1 step up, like this, and then connect it to this repeater here. So now if we press this button, you can see only the middle ones extend. So now if we put some sandstone on these just to test it out, they'll extend to 1 block above our actual bridge, our actual platform height, which is exactly what we want. And if we press it again, they will retract. If that works, then you've done everything correct. So once you've done all of that and it's all working, grab out some redstone, 1 regular piston, 2 regular pistons, your repeaters, 2 sticky pistons, your building blocks, and 2 pieces of sand or a falling block. So if you're going to be showing off this redstone, you might want to use a falling block like concrete because you can color that and it can look really cool. But again, you don't have to. So let's start by hopping into our hole on the left side or the right side and coming 5 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Building 5 blocks on each side. 5. Just like this. Okay, so now on the right and left side, place 1 piece of redstone like this, and then break this block here and replace it with a regular piston. with a piece of sand on top. And coming out of that piston, place a redstone repeater going into some redstone dust. Doing this on both sides. Now place a sticky piston with a block on top of it that redstone that we just placed goes into. So it should look like this. So there should be a regular sand piston and then a sticky block piston. Now coming over to this sticky block piston, place another 2 blocks. Place a repeater coming out of it with a redstone dust on it. Do this on the other side as well. I'll explain how this works a bit later. Okay, so now on the left or right side, place a redstone dust going 1 in, then come one more in so it connects with this repeater here. Then place a block, place a redstone dust on that block, and then another redstone dust behind the repeater. So none of this redstone dust connects to the other redstone dust. Now do this on the other side as well. Now it should look like this. So if I press this button, you can see on the extension of it, which is that one there, all pistons get fired, but on the retraction, which is this one, only the middle ones get fired. So this works because when this block is pulled down, redstone currents can pass through it. And the repeater can then pass it on to all the other ones. But when it is up, as you can see, there's nothing for the redstone to go through. So you'll see that this redstone doesn't actually get activated. Like that. So that's why that works. And that sticky piston drops that block because we're sending it a 1-tick pulse created by this small sand piston here. Okay, so now it's time to move on to the next step, which is actually a very exciting step. It's placing in the first few blocks. Okay, to place in these first few blocks, you're just going to need the blocks you're going to place and your honey and slime blocks. You'll need 3 honey blocks and 3 slime blocks for this, but you will be using another 3 of both later on. Place 3 honey blocks going like this, wrapping around this this immovable block. Do that the same with slime on the opposite side, so you've got this sort of slime and honey mixture here. Then extend your pistons like this by pressing the button, push all of your honey up. Now you're probably incredibly confused now because you don't know where to place the blocks. So now place the blocks going straight across here, so you've got the 2 and then 1 on each side, and then just continue to go up like this. So you should only have half of your door placed, but that half should be fully working now. And it is. Okay, so we've got the exciting bit out of the way, now it's time to get back into the redstoning. We're going to be building the bit that connects the top to the bottom. So to do this, we need our concrete building blocks, our redstone repeaters, our redstone dust, and our redstone torches. So hop under our bridge like this. And on the left side, under these 2 blocks here, place a repeater coming out of this blue block and going into a piece of redstone dust. Now bring this redstone dust along, and whenever the redstone dust connects like this, place a block, like that, and when it passes a piston, place a repeater. This. Oop, repeater. Do this on both sides. This can be a bit tricky just because of all the redstoning we have. There we go. Block so it doesn't connect, and then finally, one last repeater. So when we press the button, you can see that redstone actually gets activated, but it doesn't connect to any of the other redstone, which could cause some failures. Now doing this on both sides, grab out some redstone dust and go to this last repeater here, and come 3 blocks out with redstone. 1, 2, 3. Then from this corner here, go another 3. 1, 2, 3. Do this on both sides. Now, come 1 step up like this, place a piece of redstone dust, and 1 more with redstone dust on it. With the second step that come up, bring it in 1 so it's closer to this whole piston setup, with a redstone repeater on it facing this piston setup here. Do this on the other side as well. So step up with redstone dust, 1 more step up, but with that last step up, bring it 1 further in, so it's closer to this piston setup with a repeater facing the piston setup on 1 tick delay, so no clicks. So when you press it again, you should be able to see that this repeater gets activated. Walking over to either of these repeaters here and here, place a block directly in front of it. Then place a redstone torch on top of that block, and another block on top of that redstone torch with another redstone torch on top of that block. So you have a redstone torch tower and this top redstone torch is turned off. So do that on both sides. Schnoot. So there we have our connecting part. Now it's time to build the pistons that actually push the door and retract the door. Okay, for this next part, grab out your dropper, some magenta concrete blocks or whatever block you're using to build on, some sticky pistons, some observers, some redstone dust, and some redstone repeaters. Start by coming over to these redstone torches here and building up and placing a dropper facing into the sky on top of it. Then going away from this piston contraption here, place 2 blocks. 1, 2. Do this on both sides. Now that you've done that, place 2 pistons that are at the same level as this dropper, facing towards our piston contraption, like this. 2 sticky pistons, make sure they're sticky. Now that you've done that, place 2 observers on top of these pistons, so the red dot is facing towards our piston contraption again. So, like this. That means the face should be facing towards this dropper on both sides. Now place redstone dust on that dropper and on these 2 blocks on the end here. And if you break or place this redstone dust, you can see that the piston actually extends, and it should. Now grab out 8 more sticky pistons and place them like so. 2 next to these observers on both sides, so they're facing the this sort of door, the door here, on both sides. And then place 2 more observers on top of each of those sets of pistons. So we're sort of repeating what we did. So that's what it should look like. Now come behind each of those sets of pistons that we just added and place 3 blocks. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Now place a repeater in the middle of that 3 blocks, there and there, on 2 ticks delay, so that's 1 click. Making sure it's facing towards the observer. Now place redstone dust in front and behind that repeater. Okay, so now we have the problem that this redstone is actually being connected to the one at the top, but we don't want that. So place a block right there and that will stop it from connecting. That's all we need to do. Like this. So we now have the bases of our door. So if I just get a button, actually no, if I actually press this button over here, you can see it extends our whole system and then it all retracts. So now the next exciting part is adding in the other half of our door. Okay, to add in the other half of the door, we're going to be needing the exact same things as we did to add in the first half. That is honey blocks, slime blocks, some iron for me, and some light grey concrete. Oh, and some dark grey, or some regular grey concrete. Okay, to add in the door, we want to make sure the door is extended, so that means this half is out, because otherwise we're going to have some big issues with it not extending like in sync. Okay, now we need to place in slime blocks like this, in a corner shape like that on top of the honey. Do the same thing on top of the slime, but with honey. So from the back, which we haven't decorated fully yet, it looks sort of like a cross. A X, but it's like a checkered X with honey and slime. Now you can continue to place your blocks here. I'm going to be making a sort of checkered pattern in the middle with light grey and grey concrete, and then use regular blocks of iron on the side. And then you can do this on the back as well. That wasn't right, there we go. And then place all of our iron around. So now, if you come here and press your button, you should have a fully working 4x4 piston door. And when you press it, it opens and closes. But now, But now it's time to walk through to the other side and add a button on this side, because otherwise if you're in here, how are you going to get out if someone shuts you in? Okay, now on the back, grab out, put everything away except for some stone bricks, because that's all we need for this first part, and place a 4x2 area like this, like a bridge like we did on this side. Then grab out your buttons and place them in the exact same position, so 3 blocks away from this door. 1, 2, 3, just like that. Coming now underneath these buttons, place a block and then 2 blocks of orange concrete, so it looks like that. And on top of those blocks of orange concrete, place redstone dust. So now when you activate these buttons, it activates a redstone dust like it did on the other side. Now on the right side, come 1 block down, like this. From the front here, on the right side, come 1 block down. This piece of redstone dust there. Then going to the left, come another block down. Now, going 1 block down for another one, and another one, come underneath these pistons and then go straight ahead until it connects up with this redstone in here. Now, I forgot to list this while you're using your hotbar. Grab out 1 more redstone repeater and place it like this, going into that block. So now if you press a button from this side, it actually activates the door, opens and closes it. Now remember, you don't want to press a button too quickly because that can break the piston, so you need to make sure when you let it fully open and fully close before you press it. So now you have a fully working 4x4 door, but wait, how are you going to decorate these blocks here? Because you can't just put regular blocks there, because the honey and slime will pull them over and it will break your door. Well, you're going to have to be using immovable blocks like we did down here. Now, if you're using a vault, I definitely suggest if you're using this in a vault, I suggest using maybe some darker colors like obsidian, or the back of a furnace can also look pretty good as well, because it gives a cobblestone effect. But if you're using this on your house, feel free to use a terracotta and make some sort of pattern. Now remember, it has to be glazed, but I'm going to be using furnaces. And then at the top here, you will also have to use furnaces or something like that to decorate it. So that's 4 wide with furnaces. That's a lot of furnaces. So now you have a fully working and decorated 4x4 piston door with a beautiful opening and closing sequence. There we go. So that's going to be the end of this video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please leave a like, comment, and remember to subscribe if you're new. I'd really appreciate the support if you hit that subscribe button. And I will see you guys later. And remember, stay carbonated.